Hello, everyone. Am I audible? Yes. Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
hello.
we can hear.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning, dear authors and invited guests. Welcome to the technical session 5B. Myself, Aarti Mohan, and this session would be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Research Foundation, it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 9th International Congress on Information and Communication Technology, ICICT 2024, London, UK. The 9th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom today, that is 22nd of February 2024. I hope you all will enjoy this knowledgeable and interactive session through the day. In this session, we have 6 presentations. Each presenter will be given 12 minutes for the presentation and 2 minutes for the question and answer session round. On 10 minutes, I'll raise a gentle reminder. If you have any sort of query or any update, you can write it to me in the chat box. There's another request to all the participants that you all stay connected till the closing remarks. Just before getting started with the session, I would like to introduce you all to the session chair, Assistant Professor Ruxana Manu. She is a experienced assistant professor with a demonstrated history of working in the field of education with 25 years of experience. She is skilled in lecturing, research, human resource, leadership development, and higher education. She is a strong educational professional with a PhD focused in management from UTM. Ma'am, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. This next session chair is Dr. Samiksha Shukla. She is an associate professor in Christ University, Bangalore, and her research interest includes computation security, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, and big data. She has presented and published several research papers in reputed journals and conferences and has 16 years of academic and research experience. She is reviewer of InterScience Journal, Springer Natures, International Journal of System Assurance Engineering and Management, and IEEE and ACM conferences. Ma'am, it's an immense pleasure to have you on board with us. We welcome you.
Thank you.
Like to add any remarks, you can introduce yourself. If you want to do any addition to this, ma'am, you're welcome to do that.
No, Aarti, it's perfectly fine. I think we should proceed with the presentation. As you have already told the guideline, I think authors would be knowing it, so we can start with the presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much. So we are going to start with the presentation. So first, I would like to invite K.A.S.N. Pereira to present his paper on Codepedia, Crafting the Ultimate Java Learning Odyssey for Novice Programmers. Dear presenter, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sanjana Pereira, and I am delighted to stand before you today to present our research on Codepedia, crafting the ultimate Java learning odyssey for noise programmers. This is the agenda of the presentation. It is a pleasure to be here today to share insight on our research. A solution that addresses a growing need in the realm of programming education. With the rising student interest in programming, there is often a struggle to find accessible and comprehensive learning resources. That's where Codepedia comes in. Codepedia is the Java learning platform meticulously crafted for novice programmers. Recognizing the need for a proper place to learn, we have designed Codepedia to be the go-to destination for those eager to dive into the world of programming. Java, known for its straightforwardness and user-friendliness, serves as the foundation of our platform. We believe it is the ideal language for beginners, providing an accessible learning curve without compromising on strength or flexibility. These are our objectives. At Codepedia, we have integrated essential features to facilitate learning and skill building, enhancing the experience for noise programmers. Error explanation generator and real-time challenges are just a few examples of these features. Our platform boasts a user-friendly text editor equipped with syntax and error highlighting, ensuring a seamless coding experience. Additionally, the application features engaging styling aimed at enhancing user friendliness. Additionally, our tutorial hub provides comprehensive guidance every step of the way, guiding users from fundamentals to advanced concepts. But what truly sets Codepedia apart is our real-time interactive challenges. These hands-on exercises offer an immersive learning environment, allowing users to apply their newfound knowledge in practical scenarios. Leveraging the powerful MERN stack and following the three-tier architectural pattern, Codepedia is designed to empower learners at every stage of their coding adventures. Codepedia has several key features. First one is text editor and compiler. Dive into coding seamlessly with our user-friendly text editor designed for efficiency and ease of use. It is implemented using the React X editor library. The text editor comes with a built-in console and has auto-formatting and syntax highlighting. This flowchart illustrates the step involving in the compilation process. The compiler takes code within the text editor and transfer it to the backend and store it in a Java file on the server. And Java file on the server. This Java file is subsequently executed in Node.js command line environment using Java and JavaScript commands. The JavaX.tool library, part of the Java JDK, is employed for this execution process. After result and errors are then sent to the front end, where they are displayed in text editor's console. This flowchart demonstrates the step involved in the visual debugging process. The visual debugger offers an enhanced debugging experience. It provides a visual interface for code execution, allowing users to visualize the step-by-step execution process. Java Platform Debugger Architecture, also known as JPDA library, is utilized to step through the code, while a UI library is used to display the code execution steps graphically. The JPDA library identifies the result of each code snip, and the compiler displays the result and errors on the visual debugger interface. Next one is error messages with explanation generator. This flowchart demonstrates the step involved in the error explanation generating process. Codepedia employs a mapping mechanism that identifies relevant errors by comparing them to predefined error messages stored in the database. Each predefined error messages include a unique identifier and a simplified version of the error messages. The mapping mechanism links the compiler generated error message with predefined error message content in the database. When a match is found, the system retrieves the relevant, concise, and unambiguous explanation. This feature enhances the interactivity of the learning process. And also, Codepedia is consistent with Tutorial Hub, Quiz Challenge, and the real-time Java challenging platform. The Tutorial Hub offers interactive tutorials related to the Java language categorized into several topics. Online quiz portal offers quizzes in various formats, and also the real-time Java challenges aim to intensify problem-solving skill among novice programmers. Through our survey, we have identified several potential challenges that novice programmers might encounter when using an online learning platform. These are the key challenges. These are the key challenges we identified. In our survey, we found that 65 attendees faced the challenge of incomplete tutorial contents. Additionally, 62 attendees reported encountering issues with ambiguous explanation. Technical issues in quiz platforms were highlighted as a challenge by 65 attendees. Limited accessibility was identified as a concern by 76 survey participants. By understanding and addressing these challenges, we can enhance the learning experience for aspiring programmers and ensure that they have the support and resources they need to succeed. Throughout our development process, a series of introductory testing phases were conducted involving 70 novice programmers. I'm pleased to report that across all these test phases, we achieved an outstanding success rate of more than 90%. This remarkable outcome underscores the effectiveness and reliability of our platform in catering to the needs of novice programmers. These are our future plans. So looking ahead, we are planning to explore opportunities to include more programming languages in Codepedia. The idea is to reach a broader audience of learners. We will carefully research and evaluate which languages are in demand, align with industry trends, and provide significant educational value. Now, integrating new languages might have its challenges. We are aware of potential obstacles such as differences in syntax, teachers, and learning curves. To overcome these obstacles, we are going to develop comprehensive curricula, use effective teaching methods, and ensure our technical setup is strong and reliable. As we move forward, we will establish a clear timeline for implementing these language explanation and other enhancements. We will set key milestones and objectives to guide our development process. And of course, we are going to stay connected with our users. Continuous feedback is vital for us to make iterative improvement and ensure that Codepedia remains at the forefront of programming education. Finally, throughout our presentation, we have highlighted Codepedia's role as a comprehensive and user-friendly platform, tailored specifically for novice Java programmers. By providing essential tools, resources, and interactive challenges, Codepedia empowers learners to master Java programming efficiently and effectively. We have discussed how Codepedia addresses common challenges faced by novice programmers and offers unique advantages over other learning platforms, such as its user-friendly interfaces, comprehensive tutorial hub, and real-time interactive challenges. By fostering skill development and problem-solving abilities, Codepedia equips beginners with the tools they need to succeed in their programming journey. Looking ahead, Codepedia is committed to expanding its support for additional programming languages and incorporating user feedback to enhance the learning experience further. By continuously and evaluating and adapting to the needs of our users, Codepedia strives to remain a cutting edge platform at the forefront of programming education. In conclusion, Codepedia stands as not just a learning platform but a supportive community where aspiring programmers can thrive, learn, and grow. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am, you have any questions?
Yeah. So it was nice presentation. I have a couple of questions. First thing is, there are many platforms what you are presenting like that. There are many platforms which are existing. So how can you train or what are the features which you have added to your platform in comparison to existing platform?
We are adding uh, real-time Java challenging portal. Users can attend that challenge. System gives the time limit to complete that challenge. User need to complete it that time limit.
Okay, is there any feature of evaluation added to your platform?
What?
Evaluation, exam, test, any feature related to that is added to the platform where you are giving support for coding. At the same time, are you adding some feature which can help the teacher to do evaluation on the platform?
Uh, we are not at such a feature to evaluate that evaluated by the predefined code in the database.
Okay. So what I would suggest is like you please try to explore existing applications and see that those platforms are providing there are few better features and try to incorporate those features also. Am I audible?
Please repeat it. Can you repeat it?
Okay. I'm telling there are many such platforms are available. Please go through the features of those platform also and try to incorporate the features or the uh, maybe the facility or the techniques which they are providing to your platform so that it can be enhanced.
Okay, we will do that in future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation. Moving to our next presentation, I would like to invite Joseph Benjamin to present his paper on ethical education data mining framework for analyzing and evaluating large language model based conversational intelligence tutoring system for management and entrepreneurship courses. Dear presenter, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Good morning, everyone over there. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Hey, hello, everyone. We are here to discuss our paper titled Ethical Education Data Mining Framework for Analyzing and Evaluating Large Language Model-Based Conversational Intelligent Tutoring Systems for Management and Entrepreneurship Courses. My name is Joseph Benjamin Ilagan, and my co-authors are Jose Ramon Ilagan and Maria Mercedes Rodrigo. We're all from the Ateneo de Manila University in the Philippines. For context, many of you remember at the end of 2022, the world was caught by surprise with the introduction of ChatGPT, and it captured both the imagination and the fears of people in the academe. Related to ChatGPT are the notions of generative AI and so-called large language models. Part of the interest in large language models is their capabilities involving natural language processing, or NLP, and natural language understanding, or NLU. And this presents opportunities in innovation of education. An example of this is allowing students forming their technology startups and seeking feedback from virtual or simulated panelists from GPT and judges before the actual demo day to human panelists. To begin with, there are new capabilities in conversational systems, so we can revisit and revive initiatives involving conversational intelligent tutoring systems. In addition, these LLMs can serve as alternative learning assistants and co-pilots for students and faculty. From a university standpoint, there are lots of opportunities to encourage AI experimentation rather than focus on restriction and banning. All these can be governed through design science research, where we'd like to see whether interventions using generative AI are effective or not. Now, to embark on these opportunities, there needs to be some governance in place involving ethical data collection. Now, traditionally, data collection, as far as learning is concerned, goes through learning analytics and educational data mining. The source data may come from computer-based education systems, for example, LMSs, and conversational intelligent tutoring systems. There may be other sources of data, such as student reflections, quizzes, long tests, pre- and post-session surveys, and so on and so forth. This study tries to streamline the effort, at the very least addressing the fundamental issues involving ethics. So, pragmatically, what types of experiments will readily pass ethics review boards? Without a framework or mechanism in place, there's a lot of friction involved in even attempting to do experiments and innovations in education related to Gen AI. So we wish to come up with a framework that follows a multidimensional evaluation strategy, combining quantitative and qualitative methods to assess the effects of learning experiences in an ethical manner. So the proposed framework is efficient because it tries to cover as broad a set of courses where AI can be applied. And these may be deeply rooted in ethical principles. Now, among the ethical concerns that need to be addressed are, number one, the location and interpretation of data. Number two, informed consent, which is fairly established already in previous research ethics efforts. Number three, privacy and the identification of data. And number four, the classification and management of data. The main contribution of this study is close to a generalizable protocol template involving generative AI applicable to multiple courses. For our research questions, we have four. So research question number one is, how should classes be set up with instrumentation rooted in ethical principles using some of the computer-based education systems like LMS and conversational intelligent tutoring systems? Question number two, what useful data can be captured by a computer-based education system or a regular interface for rich student behavior? So it's not just learning outcomes, but also behavior and insights on emotions or affect through education data mining. Question number three is, how can EDM help evaluate LLM-based conversational tutoring systems for effectiveness in achieving student learning outcomes with the right balance of thoroughness and ethical considerations. And finally, number 4, how can EDM from a conversational tutoring systems help in course and curriculum development? A quick review of related literature points to studies involving education data mining and the categorization of issues. So we have the location and interpretation of data, informed consent, privacy, and the identification of data, and management, classification, and storage of data. These are the basics which we already have to put in place before even embarking on course experimentation with Gen AI and EDM. Now, the data captured goes through some sort of pipeline, and we will reference previous work on data pipeline architecture as follows. So number 1, logging of services and event tracking. Number 2, batch extraction and transformation and loading, or ETL. And number 3, learning analytics services, including visualization and reporting. We also point to past work involving EDM to model affect or emotions in context, so it's not just pure learning outcomes. Learning analytics, which is sometimes used interchangeably with EDM, involves the collection, measurement, analysis, reporting of data about learners. Along the way, we will try to determine activity indicators in logs, which can serve as proxy for student engagement. Broadly, the methodology involves establishing this framework for our classes in the Philippines. Now, this can be extended, of course, to any management and entrepreneurship course within the Philippines or outside. But going back to the Philippines, our classes usually span one full semester of about 14 weeks, and the class sizes range from 6 to 50 students, 30 to 40 on the average. There's an equal number of males and females ranging from 18 to 22 years old in higher education. Now, the intent or the assumption is that the students will interact throughout the semester with the computer-based systems iteratively, and students are also expected to answer course-specific reflection assignments at the start, the middle, and at the end of the semester. Now, the computer-based education system sessions, particularly the conversational intelligent tutor systems, will be conducted either on-site in the classrooms or remotely online via Zoom. The underlying research protocol, which may be updated regularly and based on the study, will be applied and customized to specific classroom requirements as needed. What you see on screen is a visual representation of the data architecture and ETL pipeline. So we have on the left the different sources, the computer-based education systems, including the learning management system, reflections submitted by the students, plus the pre- and post-session questions being fed into a secure staging area, in turn to be processed via the ETL pipeline to produce what's on the right. That is, you have various visualization and reportorial artifacts. Now, in terms of the reflection papers, here's an example of the preamble of the reflection papers. So you'll see a fairly standard confidentiality clause, which the students may or may not agree to. And we made sure that answering the reflection papers, while the answers themselves are mandatory for the grade, students can actually opt out for any research that we will do. And the types of questions will be able to support qualitative or rich text and quantitative, for example, Likert scale or categorical data collection. And then you have the pre- and post-session assessments, which will be frequent throughout the semester. And the preamble will be similar to the reflections. We've actually already implemented this, so some of you might be familiar with the Canvas LMS. So we already implemented this in Canvas since this is what's being used in our university. The framework is envisioned to allow possible types of session setups. So within subject design, experimental, and crossover design. And generically, here's how the high-level flow might look like for quasi-experiments. starting, let's say, a control or experimental group on the left, and then you have a bunch of sources, so pre-session surveys, reflection papers, and then moving to the right towards analysis. So to answer research question 1, we've been able to establish data management architecture for the learning analytics information system. And the different elements in the architecture will take into consideration ethical considerations and data privacy. Informed consent will be part of the reflection papers and session questionnaires. The intent is for any class that wants to use our protocol or framework to have some sort of a checklist. So there are guidelines in place, and all they have to do is reference our protocol or framework. So using the framework mentioned, what you see on screen is the different categories. So we highlighted in yellow, particularly the way we would store data. Now the LMS logs, CBS logs, reflection assignments, and so on and so forth will be stored securely in cloud storage. For research question number 2, the Learning Analytics Information System will manage sources like logs, reflection papers, and session questions. And they will be properly secured, and data access will be restricted and time-bound. Research question number 3 will be answered through qualitative and quantitative analysis based on transformed data from various sources, based on questions that do support both modes. And finally, research question number 4 will be answered through a facility or a setup allowing for insights governed by practices involving design science research. To conclude, this study aims to provide a method close to a protocol already for understanding student engagement and performance through a multi-source data collection approach, integrating various data sources in order to enable a complete view of students' learning experiences. These will be based on ethical considerations using theories and frameworks already discussed in the review of related literature. And because we've been able to abstract these ethical data collection concerns from what we want to do, we hope to inspire faculty and course developers not to hold back on experimentation with generative AI. And finally, we'd like to acknowledge the Department of Quantitative Methods and Information Technology of the John Gokongwei School of Management, the Rizal Library Open Access Journal Publication Grant, and the University Research Council of the Ateneo de Manila University for making our participation and future presentation of this study possible. Thank you, everyone, and I'm open to questions.
Thank you.
Okay, so it was a nice presentation, sir. You have chosen the right topic as per the current requirements. I think even we are looking into a lot of ethical consideration while we are taking AI to the classroom, and it is becoming difficult day by day for teachers to make sure that how AI can be ethically used, and if we bring in some tool in classroom, how effectively students are going to use it for learning. It was a nice presentation, sir. And I have a question. Like in one of the slides, you were talking about control group and experimental group. So, what was the criteria? What exactly? Who will be the participant if I want to go for control group study? Who will be the participant of control group, and who could be part of experimental group?
Okay, for control and experimental groups, because we're currently experimenting with different use cases. It will depend on, we haven't established that yet, but what we try to do with our framework is to be ready to support whether it's randomized control or quasi, or can be anything else. So we try to have this framework ready because for context, as much as we'd like to promote experimentation and informal testing, the showstopper always has been passing the review, the ethics review board. So we try to come up with a generic framework. So anybody who wants to experiment, because things are moving fast, and rather than them doing their own requests for research ethics review, we try to come up with a framework where everyone can just reference.
Yes,
So that was the
your
idea.
framework, your framework is good. Is there any guidance like ethical guidelines which you have considered, already established guideline to bring to build your framework?
Which framework? Apology.
Ethical, you are telling you have rebuilt the ethical framework, right?
The aim is eventually for it to become a framework.
Uh,
But for now, the immediate that's a grand ambition. But for now, it's just putting it in a usable form such that a lot of the courses can already reference. So once we get feedback from that, we'll have a round two and possibly aim for a more formal framework or two.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the next presentation, I would like to invite Zachary Matthew to present his paper on explanatory customer discovery through stimulation using ChatGPT and prompt engineering. Dear presenter, please proceed with your presentation.
Hello. Is my screen seen naman? Okay. So good morning to everyone in London, and thank you for having me today. I am Zach Alabastro, and I am with the Ateneo de Manila University in the Philippines under John Gokong Wei School of Management. And I'm here to discuss our work on leveraging large language models, specifically ChatGPT, along with prompt engineering in simulating demand curves for various business models. So today, I'll be presenting our paper entitled Exploratory Customer Discovery Through Simulation Using ChatGPT and Prompt Engineering. So when you talk about developing a good business idea, you think of how your products or services will appeal to your target customers. In reality, it isn't simple to understand such demographics as all humans are idiosyncratic. Now, if businesses were to conduct market research through comprehensive mass surveys, perhaps it will help with data gathering on customer preferences, but unfortunately, this is very costly. So in pursuit of novelty and competitiveness, the entrepreneur has to manage 4 risks: demand, technology, execution, and financing. All these apply to the problem above, but in order to recognize opportunities in product or service demand, simulations are indeed a viable option. Simulations lessen the need for businesses to conduct market research surveys in order to simulate price demand changes before getting out of the building. So a simulation involves designing a model of a complex system and experimenting with that model to understand behavior of that system. It also helps with evaluating processes and data analytics. In role-playing simulations, for example, a sample set of preferences can dictate wider consumer demand. So if a professor were to figure out how students would react to a change in the food stall prices in their local cafeteria, a class simulation can be conducted. Now, of course, the results for this can vary, but it is through these simulations that long periods of data gathering and analysis can actually be reduced to just minutes or even seconds. So human agents are not always available when these simulations occur. One option to deal with this constraint is the agent-based modeling and simulation, or in short, ABMS. Agents are autonomous individuals that can behave and decide independently. The business, or let's say the user, programs these agents and observes whether they can do complex systems that predict such behavior. So this is where ChatGPT comes in, more specifically, GPT 4.0. It is fed customer personas with unique attributes, allowing it to conduct simulations on certain business models. This work may be framed as an exploration of the ideas first put forth in works about Homo silicus, which is the idea that LLMs, large language models, model humanity by virtue of how the LLMs were trained. If this idea holds water, then an LLM, as Homo silicus, creates a model of human behavior that can explore different scenarios and hypotheses. In this case, exploring the potential customer demand for a tutoring service business. This work explores the second core idea of Horton's Homo silicus paper, that LLMs possess latent social information. If this is the case, which it might not be, then LLM should be able to be used to retrieve such latent information, such as willingness to pay, as Homo silicus is used to understand the human customer and to create human-based outputs by replicating their behavior. Given all of these things, we wanted to test whether GPT 4.0 can substitute for getting out of the building in order to fulfill customer discovery needs of businesses, or at least if it is capable of giving suitable insight on customer willingness to pay. So given all of these, our research questions consist of the following. Number one, what general approach may be followed to simulate customer discovery in preparation for getting out of the building? And number two, how must the simulation environment be constantly validated and refined to be useful as a valuable co-pilot for startup co-founders? Now, of course, for the second question, validation must entail comparison with different real-world literature on the demand. When conducting the experiment, we primarily revolved around the willingness to pay, excuse me, for a product for startup businesses. So this involves price sensitivity and price demand predictions. Prompt engineering was also used on the GPT 4.0 model. Now, if you look at the screen, you will see the framework that we used. As mentioned, we programmed agents by providing the parameters on their different persona attributes. These include the age, the school, QPI, scholar status, among many other things. And 30 personas were created in JSON format. Then, the personas were introduced to a business model. The scenario focuses on a tutoring service around the school campus. We then asked for GPT 4.0 to simulate personas or persona responses and their willingness to pay by providing a simple demand schedule, which indicates how many agree to availing of the service at a certain price point and how many do not. So the price points range from around 200 to 400 pesos in increments of 50 pesos. And this was done in table format. As expected, based on the average of 5 different trials, the lowest price point had the most number of yes responses, but it was not the price point that generated the most revenue. Lastly, we prompted GPT 4.0 to evaluate such predictions and willingness to pay responses, giving some qualitative analysis behind the behavior of these programmed personas and agents. Additionally, validation of willingness to pay was conducted by comparing the most optimal price point in the simulation with real-world literature and real-world tutoring prices. So for this one, an informal research on Metro Manila hourly tutorial services yield the following results, as you guys can see on the slide. As part of the methodology, we ensured not to include indications of economic theory and explicit mentioning of willingness to pay in an attempt, of course, to minimize the external influence on this simulation. Now, by following the chain of thought or COT prompting method and integrating prompting frameworks, specifically persona, context manager, recipe, flipped interaction, and reflective, we can generate GPT's reasoning about customer behavior to each given scenario and therefore prepare for getting out of the building. So ChatGPT simulation results appear to graph the law of demand, containing the most optimal price point as part of its generated price demand schedule. However, there is not yet enough evidence to claim that GPT understands the law of demand. Unique business settings can call for very unique price demand curves. Hence, GPT is not a definite substitute for customer discovery. In ensuring a realistic simulation, attribute dependencies must also be applied. So this means that the attributes programmed to each given persona must not entirely be arbitrary, but connected to one another in some way. Let's give an example. A student in second year college, at least in the Philippine context, which is where the simulation was based on, should be around 19 or 20 years old and not 23. In conclusion, LLMs like ChatGPT are capable of generating demand or willingness to pay graphs through simulation. However, further study is still needed for more non-obvious, non-intuitive demand curves. Although many industries do follow the law of demand, Veblen products are one of the exceptions. This calls for, of course, more research on whether GPT's generations are suitable even for these kinds of specific industries, given its base knowledge. Through further experimentation and improvements of the prompting frameworks, and of course, the different techniques, success may potentially indicate lower costs for customer discovery. So we would like to thank Ateneo de Manila University for their support. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for having me, and I will now hand the floor back to the moderator. And I'm open for questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Ma'am, you have any questions? I guess ma'am is having some issues with her mics. She dropped her comment in this chat box. Yeah, it was a wonderful presentation. Okay, ma'am, thank you so much. Moving on to the next presentation. I would like to invite Maxime Popov to present his paper on method of this simultaneous multi-axis motor control for actuators positioning. Dear presenter, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Hello, I'm ready. Do you see my screen?
Yes, it's visible. You may please proceed.
Okay. Good morning again. I greet all participants of the conference, and I'm glad to take part in it. I am Maxim Popov. I represent Big Printer Digital Innovations Company. The topic of my report is method of the simultaneous multi-axis motor control for actuators positioning. So a few words about a multi-axis control application. There is a very wide field to apply, like CNC machines, like industrial inkjet printers, 3D printers, robotics, so on. In every of those applications, it's very important to provide an accurate and a reliable method for multi-axis movement control. In a simple case, it's enough to use almost any MCU with timer counters to create control pulse sequence, or CPS, for a single axis or two-axis movement with low speed. In practice of high-precision multi-axis control, the task is much more difficult because of increasing pulse position temporal uncertainty, as shown in the right figure on slide. And there are two key reasons for it. Calculations of the CPS period values, which is resource consuming, and an asynchronous events like data transfer. CPS is actually distorted already at 10 kHz, which is quite low for real cases. And it results in an acceptable trajectory distortion. So here you can see the good sequence undistorted and bad one with very good visible distortion. We create the model in MATLAB Simulink IDE to visualize the deviation or distortion. So the model is shown at the slide top. And the two sets of graphs are shown below. The good case is to the left and the bad one is to the right. It's easy to see the speed distortion for the both axes. The key idea to solve this is to use deterministic pulse generator or DPG, which includes timer counter and buffer memory. The buffer memory allows to store the necessary quantity of period values to prevent CPS uncertainty during time-consuming CPU or MCU operations, and a single timer counter for all the axes with the required number of outputs. This idea could be implemented as MCU plus FPGA combination, the first diagram, or within a heterogeneous chip like Zinc 7000 or Zinc UltraScale. So these two options are described on this slide. The first one is intended to be used for relatively simple cases, when speed values quantities is limited and it is not needed to change them at the execution time. It doesn't require a complex PCB with DDR memory support. And the second option is for full-featured system running embedded Linux, for example. So it requires a large DDR DRAM volume and complex PCB. For example, it may be 8 layers, 10 layers, or even more. So the proposed hardware and software method allows to solve the problem of CPS generation with the high requirements for temporal determinism. The solution is based on the usage of deterministic pulse generator. Two options for CPS generator were created: the cost-optimized option and of high-performance option. Each of them found an application in serial commercial products of big printer digital innovations companies. You can see CNC machines and wide format inkjet printers. That's all. Thanks for attention. I'm ready to answer questions.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you very much too.
Ma'am, you have any questions? Okay, she has one question that what is the size of buffer used for experiment? She's asking.
Okay, very nice question. It depends on concrete task. In practice, it can be 2,000 or 4,000 cells. The bitrate of each cell depends on resolution of movement. I hope I answered the question.
Yes. That's all. Ma'am, any more questions? No, that's all. Thank you so much for your presentation. Moving on to the next presentation, I would like to, I would like to invite May to present her paper on social entrepreneurship and artificial intelligence, how entrepreneurs share innovation. Dear presenter, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Yes, hello. Okay, I will share my presentation and start. Okay. 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 So our article, Social Entrepreneurship and Artificial Intelligence, how entrepreneurs shape innovation, the Lebanese case, with my co-authors, Dr. Rima Ruhana and Dr. Dina Sidani, the Lebanese case. So we started with the outlines, research motivation, questions, then the literature review, the research methodology, the findings, the research implications, limitations, and recommendation. Why we choose this topic? So as we know, social enterprises have become a nascent concept in the economic world in developing countries. Because it can improve the national state of unemployment, health, and other social difficulties. And the social entrepreneurs actually are facing environmental mutation, and they are using AI tools to create balance with their internal organizational context. The algorithms based on artificial intelligence are becoming more and more important in corporate decision making. But there is a large gap in the previous literature addressing the concept of SE and AI. That's why in the given study, we offered to define the concept of SE in Lebanon, define the concept of AE evolution and its impact on innovation process and entrepreneurship, define the role and quality of the social entrepreneur, highlight his background, education, professional experience, exposure, and how these variables shape his innovation and decision-making style to use and implement an AI tool, and define how the Lebanese social entrepreneur is using AI for his company's exposure and networking, to answer to several stakeholders who are involved with the SE context. To answer the above research questions, we analyze 4 case studies, Lebanese studies. We adopt a qualitative approach based on a semi-structured interview. This study also outlined the benefits of AI deployment, which will aid managers and in realizing the value and advantages of AI integration in their SE. The results of this study demonstrate that implementing AI and SE can assist them in building brand recognition. Technology, in the case of SE, might be a leverage to scale up their activities promoting societal well-being. Technology can be an effective tool helping entrepreneurs to be more creative in generating new business models or improving the ones they already have. And managers can play a crucial role in adopting and developing, as well as the top management support. The study will better understand the Lebanese social entrepreneurs' awareness regarding AI, the challenges they are facing while adopting and installing providing technologies. So we can go to the next step, which is the literature review. We have the social entrepreneurship, the theory, why the theory focuses on the social development and transformation, which have a social impact on communities. It can boost economic growth and sustainability. It can create value and prosperity, and it is essential to the nation's ability to innovate. Artificial intelligence, over the years, it has shifted to the digital area. It's viewed as the key to the future development. So it has a big impact on how businesses operate. Organizational change, such as the adoption of new technologies within a company, makes managers anxious, hesitant, and fearful. The readiness and behavioral intention to use AI are thought to be influenced by managers' attitudes regarding AI. In order to successfully implement technology, managers must take a positive outlook towards the change. AI and social entrepreneurial decision-making, it can be an investigator for entrepreneurial opportunities. AI-based technologies may help to address societal issues in a number of areas, such as equality, inclusion, health, education, hunger, and/or climate action. It can help entrepreneurial decision-making. Creating social value for society by enhancing entrepreneurs' decision-making processes suggests that AI must consider sustainability challenges that have an impact on both consumers and businesses and the circular economy. Current technology broadens the knowledge of business people, and AI offers a convincing way to improve the interpretation of data, show institutional memory, and support improved decision-making. The methodology we used, so it is according to the framework of technology organization environment. The organizational technological environment contexts are all relevant to how a corporation decides to adopt and utilize technological innovation. In this context, we study the organizational context in order to see if what is the relation of in adopting AI, the firm size, we took into consideration the firm size, the firm scope, culture and change, the adoption cost, the CEO's knowledge, leadership profile, gender experience, education, attitudes towards IT adoption, and the top management support. So the case study design is based on Yin studies. The recommendations while we were studying, we were to consider where the goal of the study to provide how and why the answers, to control the behavior of participants, cover contextual conditions because we think they are relevant to the phenomenon under study. The boundaries between the phenomenon and context are unclear. A semi-structured interviews with semi-directed questions that we have addressed to 4 entrepreneurs in order to understand and analyze the impact of the different dimensions of TOE in adoption of AI in the context of social entrepreneurships. We made site visits to our selected managers. Our target group was SE that have already implemented in AI and are using it already. We wanted to analyze how entrepreneurs' background can shape innovation. The outline of planned topics and questions to be addressed, the manager or entrepreneur's personal identification, education, experience, knowledge about AI, the firm's characteristics, size, industry, and year of creation, the top management support, and the different dimensions of TOE and the adoption of AI. So the 4 case studies were Lebanon waste management. It's a facility to treat dry solid waste. Make sense, social enterprise to educate or help social entrepreneurs. Arc-en-Ciel, which is an NGO, and had some social entrepreneurs under this NGO's industrial facilities. And La Boutique Sociale also, it is sustainable fashion developer within the help of Arc-en-Ciel Association. The findings we find after the study and the analysis with the 4 entrepreneurs in the 4 case study, they are young. They are divided between 50% male and 50% female. So the gender is not to be considered here because they were young and we have equality. They come from a business background. Majority have more than 3 years experience in SC. 3 of our entrepreneurs are aware of financial accounting techniques and management accounting techniques. Two of them deal with database and computer-assisted production management, where one of our manager has accounting-based package knowledge. The firm characteristics. So we had 3 types. Employing more than 29, which we consider in Lebanon large size because the social entrepreneurship, the social enterprises are new here. 1 employs between 11 and 20, and 1 is the small La Boutique. They serve the community's benefit respectively since 2019, 2015, 1985, and 2002. They work for several purposes such as education, inclusion, health education, agriculture sector, and the livelihood promotion. They serve the community with services or recycled products, and they went beyond the self-generating fund. The entrepreneurs apply for call now to have grants because of their success in this case. And they are working to develop the SE by using also AI. The CEO support and commitment, the top management encouraging using AI technologies. This support is considering medium to high level. So we have always the commitment, the top management willingness to handle the financial consequences. The CEO commitment can be summarized mainly by the work and finding solutions to the major problem of waste in the country to help create job opportunities for the growth, for the economic growth, decrease pollution, and boost the economy. The CEO has to believe in the vision and strive to make that vision come to life. Entrepreneur claims that the top management maintains a transparent dialogue with his employees, listen to them in order to facilitate the integration. They need them to be, he is a supportive person, so he is integrating and involving all the personnel with him, the employees. The studies that found that top management support had a significant impact on AI adoption. Social enterprises with strong top management support were more likely to adopt AI. And in the 4 case studies we visited, we noticed the involvement of the top management to apply AI to reach a bigger number in employees, to enhance the the supply chain management, to communicate with suppliers, to maintain a good accounting, a good database, and as I already said, to analyze all their results and to foresee for future. Our entrepreneurs are strongly agree that through AI adoption and implementation, their SE can be able to get accurate results. They believe that through AI adoption, their organizational image also shows more innovativeness. Since the AI provides accurate data and information, the delivery of goods or services is conducted in a timely fashion. Regarding the supply chain management, our entrepreneurs strongly agree that the deployment of AI techniques has improved the supply chain, as well as it has enhanced its subfields. They moderately agree that an AI is the most relevant techniques in SCM, and AI is also the best demand forecasting and performing methods. As for the AI adoption, its impact on the business models, our finding moderately prove that AI enabled business model to foster a value creation. Our finding also highlight the fact that there were a number of other factors that contribute to the variation in AI adoption, like the size and the maturity in the sector. The dedicated AI team or individual responsible for raising awareness and building understanding of AI across the organization. Partnership with external organizations such as university can support and with the expertise. But we have ethical concerns, ethical guidelines in place for the development and use of AI systems. The conclusion, so our paper suggests a broad scope of the literature of social entrepreneurship and artificial intelligence in the Lebanese context. We aim to define both concepts to define the role of the social entrepreneur, his innovation and decision-making style to use and implement an AI. There is a growing interest in our context to use the AI to address social and environmental challenges. So whereas in Lebanon, AI adoption in social entrepreneurship is even less developed than it is globally. We have to work on this to solve this issue. This is due to a number of factors, like the economic crisis, the financial crisis in Lebanon, the political instability, which can be framing entrepreneur to adopt it, and the lack of awareness and understanding of AI in some enterprises. As I said, it depends on the background of the managers and the top management. So we also highlight the role of the entrepreneur's profile, background, experience. It doesn't show relevance to the firm's characteristics. It's only depending on the entrepreneur's profile. Another important factor fostering the use and implementation of the AI is the top management support. Our findings moderately prove that an AI-enabled business model can play a vital role in value creation. It can facilitate resilient inventory management and can increase forecasting accuracy in all the results. Our entrepreneurs moderately agree that an AI algorithm should predict budget properly, but they were undecided if an AI-enabled budget maximizes employees' efficiency and firms' profitability. It is to be developed later on. Our research is limited to 4 SE. It's the limitation. It could benefit from a large sample size, as 4 case studies may not be sufficient to draw generalized conclusions. But here we have to extend our study because now we have many startups who are starting and they are trying to adopt AI. Future research can lead us to apply this model in other countries to better compare our findings along with other culture international. This is in a next step, mutation and constraints. Thank you.
Am I audible?
Ma'am, you're audible.
So I have one question. Your first thing is your presentation was good. So I'm really happy to see how you are connecting AI with social enterprises. The thing is, when we talk about social enterprises, we need to address the skill gaps also. So, have you thought of when we are implementing AI, you may need to think of skill gaps and how you will address that?
The gap. Okay, we started. We choose 4 entrepreneurs who already started from many years and who are already aware of the importance of AI and they are using this. There is a gap. I mean, not all of entrepreneurs in Lebanon are aware of this. Our next step is to study and to bring some models from outside and to continue with these entrepreneurs to see if they are at the level or no, and to continue with other social entrepreneurs also to apply AI.
How you will address, that's what I'm telling. See, that there may be set of entrepreneurs who are not familiar with AI.
Who are not familiar? Okay, we have a grant to educate or to raise the awareness. So we will organize workshops. We will take case studies to compare outside Lebanon, in Europe, for example, and in Lebanon, and to raise the awareness of social entrepreneur of the importance of this. And we can continue in this way, the gap between, in our literature, between the social entrepreneur and the using of AI. We will organize workshops.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your presentation and thank you, ma'am, for your questions. Moving on to the next presentation, I would like to invite Lynn Kaibe to present her paper on the use of augmented reality tools in marketing, opportunities and limitations in the Latvian market. Dear presenter, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Yes, thank you. So I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, it's visible. You may please
Okay,
proceed.
thank you. My name is Liene Kaibe, and today I'm going to tell about our research, the use of augmented reality tools in marketing, opportunities and limitations in the Latvian market. In practice, definitions of reality formats remain generally fragmented and inconsistent. But augmented reality is a game-changing technology that is driving fundamental paradigm shift how users interact with data. The aim of the study is to assess the possibilities of using augmented reality tools in marketing in the Latvian market. And we conducted 21 expert interviews with marketing professionals in Latvia. And how augmented reality affects consumers. The main benefits of AR are to visualize, instruct, guide, and to interact the user. The opportunity to feel free or try the appearance and suitability of the products to get additional information about the product. Through augmented reality, the brand can make first connection with the consumer and sell products. Augmented reality creates interest in Latvia, but the consumer must see the benefits of the augmented reality. Augmented reality is used as the branding tool and it's used more for fun than a real purchase driver. Experts suggest don't insert too many unnecessary steps as it detracts from the expected augmented reality experience and user experience. See some sad or bad results, and user won't come back to your company anymore after this bad user experience with augmented reality. What's preventing use augmented reality in Latvia? Barriers of technology limitations should be reduced. There is many technological limitations. Also, some consumers are afraid of data loss and data privacy. Existing augmented reality solutions require a lot of efforts to be usable, so companies should put much resources in augmented reality solutions. And augmented reality solutions can be expensive, time-consuming, and entrepreneurs often lack of knowledge about augmented reality possibilities and how to use them properly. And some future opportunities for augmented reality in Latvian marketing experts say that Latvian society is open to augmented reality solutions, but augmented reality campaigns should be direct to the right audience at the right time. It's more often would be millennials or Gen Z than other generations. What is behind augmented reality technology and how it can help to make a purchase is not well explained to the public, and very often consumers don't know about AR. And now online sales mostly take place in mobile device, in smartphones, and experts says that its potential for augmented reality, because many augmented reality solutions is for smartphones. And some conclusions: augmented reality improves the user experience at the moment of purchase by revealing more information about the product, reducing user stress, and making decision process easier. Augmented reality relies on various sensors, such as access to camera. In Latvia, the level of audience awareness is still low, and therefore the corresponding added value is not being generated. Augmented reality has not yet reached its potential in Latvia, so it does not have a significant impact on the current marketing communication, unfortunately. And there is a perceived positive contribution to the integration of augmented reality for business purpose. It increases brand awareness, create positive associations with the company products or services, and boost conversation rates, because consumers are interested in these solutions. Factors that hinder the development of augmented reality in Latvia are mainly consumer cultural specifics, technology literacy of society, and investments related to augmented reality. And in Latvia, the use of augmented reality does not tend to promote sales, but rather to present brand elements through an entertainment motive. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am, any questions?
It was a nice presentation. I just want to know, is there any example, where augmented reality is used in business?
Example?
Yeah, real-time example.
We didn't research these examples, but I know that many brands create filters, and one example might be IKEA and their app for products. I think it's most knowable in Latvia. It's IKEA and their app with augmented reality solution.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your presentation. Roxana, ma'am, you have any questions? Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. This brings us to the end of our presentations. Ma'am, I would like to have your valuable remarks to all our participants. I would request Samiksha ma'am to give some valuable remarks to all our participants.
Thank you, Aarti. So it was nice to be part of this insightful gathering, and it was really good to listen to the findings of all the research scholars and professors. I think there are few places where we can definitely think of future studies and work more, so that yes, definitely you can come up with better product. And few research are really very good, and I think those research, I would suggest them to look into the benchmarking of those research, so that someone else can take it further from the place where you benchmark. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your valuable words. So I sincerely thank all our authors for their excellent presentations and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. We, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for the support during the 9th version and all the previous 8 versions of the conference. We're happy to have you in the 10th conference as well, 10th version in 2025. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the papers have already been forwarded to Springer. The publication would be live within 6 months. Please cooperate with the team of ICICT 2024. Now, I would like to thank our session chair, Professor Samiksha Shukla ma'am, for chairing the session. A token of appreciation to the chair on behalf of team ICICT 2024 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable presence.
Thank you.
So now I would like to request everyone to please switch on your camera so that we can have a quick snapshot of the conference. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.